Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to today's webinar presented to you by the TU Business Career Center. Today's webinar is going to cover LinkedIn and some tips and tricks, especially in this time, to help you maximize your LinkedIn potential, your profile, some searching, all the things that go along with LinkedIn. My name is Leonelle Thompson, and I am the Assistant Dean and Director of the Business Career Center. Before we get started with the content of today's webinar, I want to go through a few webinar housekeeping items. So first off, everyone is muted. This just helps to reduce the background noise and distractions, especially with doing a live broadcast. That's not to say we won't have anything, but everyone is muted. We will have a question answer session at the end of the webinar. And so you can ask a question either through the chat feature or the Q&A feature. So you should be able to see a toolbar if you hover either down low or above on the screen that you're viewing if you're logged in via the link. If you are a call-in user, you can email your questions to bus-career@utulsa.edu, and we will be sure to answer those as well. Questions will be asked and answered starting no later than 12:45. So the way this will work is I'll get through the entire presentation and then we will move into the question and answer portion. This webinar is being recorded, and upon exiting the webinar, you will be prompted to take a short survey. So just be sure to take that. It's about 5 questions. It just helps to give us feedback on this particular session. And the replay of this recording will be available on the Business Career Center YouTube channel. You can see the link there, and you can also search TU Business Career Center, CNTR for Center on YouTube to find the recordings, not only from the webinars we're doing, but also the workshops we did in the fall. In keeping with our webinar tradition, we are going to give a giveaway. We have 2 Grubhub gift cards up to give away for this particular webinar. So if you are viewing this live, you are automatically entered for the gift cards, and you will be notified via email or phone, depending how you've chosen to log in, about winning the Grubhub gift cards. They are e-gift cards, so they will be emailed to you, and so you can start using those. This is our way of saying, you know, we miss you all in the Business Career Center. We hope that all of this passes very soon, and we just want you all to know that we are still thinking about you, and we want you to stay healthy and safe. In keeping with the giveaways, today is April 1st, which is National Internship Awareness Month. And the College of Business Business Career Center is providing giveaways to students. So you don't have to do anything other than be a College of Business student. Watch your emails, watch our social media. There will be some fun tips and tricks and some trivia. You can definitely answer those, but we will try to do a giveaway at least once a day. And that's going to include Grubhub gift cards, Amazon gift cards, care packages, that kind of thing. So just our way of saying, again, we miss you, and to acknowledge the importance of internships and bring awareness to those. In addition to that, we will spotlight our class of 2020 and the internships that they have had and advice that they have given to help those who are coming up later throughout their internship journey with a little advice. So what is our agenda today? So there's a lot to pack into this. And so feel free, if you have a mobile device, or you can look at the slides and also work along on your computer, feel free to do that as we talk about LinkedIn. We're going to talk about why LinkedIn is important. We're going to talk about using it as a research tool, finding people. The question I get a lot of times is it okay to connect with someone you don't know? We'll talk about that. We'll talk about finding jobs and internships, best practices for your profile, building your brand. I'm going to show you the app as well. There's some cool features on the app that you can use. And then takeaways, so some to-do items post webinar. And if there's time left, I am going to go into Handshake. Handshake and LinkedIn do work a lot together, the same kind of functionalities. So if there is time, I will go into Handshake. If you have to get off of the webinar and call, you have a 1 o'clock class or something of that nature, I will continue to record and show and go through the Handshake piece, so you can always come back and see it later. So just some quick stats on just jobs in general and LinkedIn. So 80% of jobs, and in this I use jobs and internships interchangeably, are never posted. But 90% of employers use LinkedIn to recruit. So it really is about connecting with people, connecting with employers, connecting with connections, for lack of a better word, to help you along your journey and finding those internships and jobs. So using Handshake, using LinkedIn, there are a lot of jobs and internships that are posted. But if you think about 80% are never posted, there's a lot out there that you can be applying to, you can be researching. And that's what we want to get at today is how do you do all of that? So why is LinkedIn such an important tool? Well, companies, like I said in the previous slide, they're looking for you on LinkedIn. It helps you to cultivate your professional network. One of the things I always like to tell students is at some point you're going to have to start thinking like a professional, and LinkedIn's a great way to do that. So you're still a student, but start to transition into that professional networking mindset. You can research your career path on LinkedIn. You can learn about skills and career paths from people who have your dream job. And then it's also a top social media way to gain employment. So we think about, what about Facebook or Twitter? Facebook, yes, is used more so from the standpoint of perhaps, looking at the way the personal side of things. So maybe, you get hired, and so your coworker may go out to Facebook to research you or to see, what some of your interests are in, not so much for hiring. And Twitter, also not a big area, a social media area to gain employment. Are there jobs posted on Twitter? Yes. Are there jobs sometimes advertised on Facebook? Yes. But as far as connecting with a professional, LinkedIn's going to be that top social media platform. So why is LinkedIn so important? So this is just a snapshot of my profile, my home screen on my profile. I think I took this on Sunday. And so you have your dashboard. Oops, I went a little too far. Your dashboard, which has the numbers and who's viewed your profile, the post views, and the search appearances. On here, if we drill down a little bit, to have the search appearances, the stats, so 57. So where are your searchers working is what this screen gets to. Where are they working? And what do they do? So this just gives you kind of insight onto how you're being searched. So how do you find and research people? Well, one of the things that we think about when we look at how do we find and research people is you can look at name, school, location, language, the connection of, job titles, industry, the current company they may work for, the past company, and your connections of 1, 2, and 3. I want to take a little break and talk about the connections. So what does it mean to be a first level connection, second level, or third level? So your first level are going to be people whom you are connected, with whom you're connected. So these are your first connections, you've connected with them. Your second level are going to be people with whom your connections are connected. So when you log into Facebook and you're searching through the networks, through the network and looking at all the connections, second is going to mean someone of your first connection is connected with the second connection. And third, I like to call third just they're the stranger. So they're the ones that your second connections are connected with. So you can kind of see on this graphic how far out you get from you all the way to that third connection. So, and you also see how the number grows. So the more that people are connected, the more that number is going to grow and get to that point of you are connecting with that third level of connection. So why do you research people? Well, your goal is to build a professional relationship. So how do you do that? You want to look at common areas, look for compliments, compliment others, ask for little. So you don't want to go right out and ask for a job, but you also want to provide benefit when possible. And so I'm going to show you how to research people. I'm going to log into LinkedIn here in a second and show you how to go about researching people, looking at their profession, their education, geographic area. And you want to start thinking about that bond. What is that bond, that connection that you're building? So what to say when you're connecting with someone? So that's always a question. And research has shown that's probably the hardest part for students to connect with someone. What should you say? So you always want to address and reach out to the contact referencing their name. You also, and this is just an example, tell them who you are. You are character limited when you connect, and this is connecting when you hit connect with someone on LinkedIn, and this is sending them a note with that. So I always say you want to always include a note. Sometimes we forget, and that's okay, but you want to maybe go back and do that, follow up with a note if you forget to do it in the connection. So hi, insert the contact's name. Include your major, your year. I'm a junior accounting student at the University of Tulsa and was doing some research on LinkedIn and found your profile. You have the career that I'm aspiring to one day. And you know, that may be at that particular time, and that's okay. It could change. So don't feel like you're locked into this. Would you mind if I ask you some career advice? So again, your goal is to build a relationship. You do not in your note put, I'm looking for a job or internship. You don't put that right away. That will come, but that's not the first thing you say when connecting. You do ask for other contacts that they think can help you, not in the note, but as you're connecting, ask for other contacts. You can reach out to their contacts, referencing their name. So when you contact them, if they give you a contact to reach out to, go ahead and reference that, Mrs. Smith asked me or told me about you and to reach out to you. And you do need to connect with people you don't know, even if they do not include a note. And so that takes me to my next slide to talk about connecting with people you do not know. Again, a question I get a lot on what should I do if someone reaches out to me and I don't know them and they don't have a note? How should I go about that? And so what you want to do is think about why they may be reaching out. So sometimes they're reaching out because look at the mutual connection. So we talked about the connections, the first connection, second connection, third connection. Think about how they're connected to you, even if it's down that line. That may be why they're reaching out. Keep in mind also, this isn't Facebook, so it's not like you're becoming like best friends or friends in the sense of Facebook. It's networking, right? So just like you would be reaching out to maybe someone that doesn't know you with the note, they could be doing the same thing. Think about what you've posted, commented on, or shared. Again, people can see that. And so when you are posting that or commenting on something, think about how they're connected to that particular post or comment. And so if you're not sure, just respond back with a message to them. I do this all the time. If people reach out, hi, Mr. Smith, thank you for reaching out and connecting with me. I look forward to learning more about you on LinkedIn. And they'll respond and tell you, great, thank you. I saw that you commented on this, and this person is actually a mutual friend of mine. So there's not, I don't want to say there's no stalkers on LinkedIn, but, keep in mind that, people are connecting with you just kind of like you're reaching out to them. And then also another way to just send a note, thank you for reaching out and connecting with me. I was wondering if I could get your opinion on my recent post. So you know that there's some connection somewhere. So just asking them about that opinion on that post is another way just to let them know that that they reached out, that there may be not a close connection. And so you're just inquiring about, what the connection might be. So I want to talk about profile settings. Again, a lot of the stuff that I'm covering in the slides I will also show when I get into LinkedIn. And so with the profile settings, you want to make sure you set them so the employers can find you. They are looking for you. And so you want to signal your interest to recruiters. A lot of businesses buy the business LinkedIn package so they can go and find people. You want to look for internships that apply and appeal to you. And you can also set up search alerts, but I'll show you all that when we do the demo. Here are just some profile best practices. So LinkedIn is based off of artificial intelligence and algorithms. And so how you are searched for comes up based on what you have in your title block, which is also called your headline, the summary you may have that's on display, and any top positions. So on mine, I have my last 3 positions that I've worked. So a lot of times LinkedIn will tell me you were searched because people put in the title of director. And so director came up and so I was in that. So that's how you're searched. That's why you really want to be very strategic in what you put in your title block, what you put in your summary, and then which positions you may list. Again, you're building that network, you're appealing to employers. So you want to make sure that all that aligns with what it is you're trying to portray and your branding, so to speak, on LinkedIn. Of course, your headshot photo should be professional and welcoming. So, it should just be you. So no need for like group photos or, someone's arm cropped out. It should just be you. You want to update your LinkedIn URL, which I will show you that and how to put that on your resume and other documents. Join groups. So these are groups that are set up in LinkedIn that you can join and find out information about. I have joined groups about professional associations, groups that are for the University of Tulsa. So just a way to again, network with other people. And then you also want to follow companies. So this is a way to find out what companies are doing. I'm an accountant by degree, so I follow a lot of companies to know when their earnings are released, keep up with the ones I'm invested in for stock purposes. So also keep in mind, many companies reach out to followers first. And when we talk about following, there is a difference between following and connecting. So follow is a one-way type relationship. So when you follow a company, you will see their post, but they can't see yours. The same is true with a person. You can follow a person and you can see their post, but they won't see yours. So for example, I follow TU alumni Doug McMillan, Walmart CEO. So he has a LinkedIn profile, but it's set up to only follow. And so I follow him, so he can never see my posts, but I can see everything he posts or someone who posts on his behalf. I can see all of that. Connecting is the two-way relationship. You can see a person's post, they can see yours. Most companies are set up to follow, not so much to connect. And then you can also research people in your desired field and then join the groups that they join. So not quite stalking, but you're just trying to get a little bit of interest and understanding of what, someone in your particular interest and field might be interested in. If we think about building your personal brand, you want to post, share, and comment on items that are relevant, related, and trending about you as a student, a desired career path, any interest you may have. I will say, one of the things I've noticed, I'm on LinkedIn a lot. One of the things I've noticed, we have not seen many student posts about how you all are learning in this new environment. We see a lot from professionals, a lot from employers talking about the new normal and the sense of this is working from home, this is remote working, but you students are learning from home. You're in a whole new area too. So think about that and go ahead and out there and post. That's actually one of my takeaways I want you all to do today is to go out there and post about what you're experiencing, what's going on, and you'll be surprised how many people will like, share, comment on those because we're not seeing much of it out there. It's a great way to stand out. Talk about your internship and what was learned. If you've had one, talk about your internship and job search process. How's that going, especially in light of everything? You want to be honest, you want to be professional, but also honest. People, this is networking. If you need help, put that out there that you need help in a post, not when you connect with someone, but in a post is totally fine. If you had a study abroad experience, and you had to come home. So a lot of students, all our study abroad students came home. What was that like? And you're showing those skills that you've learned. And that's really appealing to an employer. You can show your own content, what projects you've worked on, competitions won, events planned. We just had a group of business students win a finance competition and they posted on it. One of the things I love to do is go out and read about students' awards and accomplishments and comment and say congratulations and like the comments and get in the habit of doing that. You can also tag someone, an organization, or a school. So for example, you could tag me and you just do @ in the person's name. The great thing is you don't actually have to be connected with that person. It could be your second connection or first that you can tag. The same with an organization or school. You would just do the @ and then start typing in the organization and name. Always use correct grammar and punctuation. Again, this is your branding. This is professional. So you want to use that correct grammar and punctuation. It's not Facebook. It's not text. You're going to need to use capitalization and punctuation. And hashtags are becoming a thing on LinkedIn, but you don't need more than 3. It gets a little much on LinkedIn because they are relatively new to LinkedIn, the hashtag world. So you want to just keep it at no more than 3, and they need to be relevant. So one of the things I always like to do is just if it's a TU type event, I like to put in just a hashtag UTulsa. So at this point, I'm going to try something new. Usually when I am in class and I'm doing this in person, I have everyone take out their phone and download the app and everything. So we're going to try that. I'm going to try to show you that because there's a few things in the app I want you to see. Know if this doesn't work. I do have slides, backup slides that show the app as well. So we're gonna try this and try to connect to my phone here. Okay. Seems like it's working. So this is the app on my phone. And so you can see there's a lot of activity going on. I got some connections, a network here, someone who wants to connect, and I have 3 notifications. And so one of the things I wanted to show you is up here actually, and how to find people nearby. So once social distancing is over, there's some cool things you can do on the app to show how you can connect with someone. Maybe, instead of sending them a link to your profile, you can do it if everyone has the app. So you're going to want to go to my network. And so I see Claire is on and she has connected with me. Thank you, Claire. So you want to also click on this little guy, the little guy with the plus mark, or gal with the plus mark. Click on that. And you want to find nearby. And so that would be right here. So this will, if you're at a conference, you're sitting in class, we do this a lot when I do this workshop in person. We all pull out our phones and we start connecting with each other. So you want to find nearby. Now, like I said, during this time of social distancing, there's no one really nearby except my husband. So you can see he popped up. He's currently upstairs. So he popped up and we're already connected. But you would get the list of people who you could possibly connect with if you're in class, if you're in a conference setting, that kind of thing. So that's just a handy dandy tool to help you when connecting and you don't want to say, oh, look me up and spell my name and all that kind of stuff. You can just do it through the app. Another way you can do that is another function of the app. There's 2 ways to get here. You can go up to the search bar and click on what looks like a QR code, or you can go back to the little guy or gal there with the plus mark. So we're going to go here. Oops, and I lost it. Let me share again. Lost it for a second. We're bringing it back. Technology is so awesome. All right, there we are. So you can go up to the QR here. And that's going to bring up, you can scan someone's QR code. So you would want to click on my code. And that's a QR code you can download. You can put on, if you think about where you could use that, I would say if you're doing a presentation or research presentation or something of that sort, you could put it there. And then that way, people may not have their phones or may not want to look up your name. They can just scan the QR code and it would connect with you. So you can see down at the bottom, you can share the code, you can save it to photos, put it on other things later. If you're also at an event and someone's like, here's my code, then you would want to go over to scan, and then you just scan their code when it comes up. Mine's actually sitting on a table right now, so hence the darkness. But you would scan their code, and then you would also be automatically connected with them. So just a few things to show on the app. Comes in really handy, again, if you're not at a place where you can go in and just look up their name and connect with them the normal way on the phone. Of course, you can always go back and just search their name. Right now, I'm going to go ahead and connect with Claire. And I see Shanae I can connect with. And it's going to give you options too of others you might be connected with. You can see Claire's connections that you may know. So those would be your second. So if I were to click on Juan, he would show up as someone that I could possibly connect with as well. So I'm going to go back to sharing, not with my phone, but I'm going to go ahead and get over to actual LinkedIn in the web to walk through a few things. So I got a couple screens open, so I'm seeing, I think I'm seeing everyone is seeing this, so this is awesome that technology is working. So a few things I want to go through, we talked about in the actual presentation. Let's talk about some privacy settings. So how do you let employers know that you're available to work? So you want to go to your profile, and this is up here under the me, again, nice professional photo, settings and privacy. And then you want to go over here to job seeking preferences. And so this is where, let me expand this a little, let me scroll over. This is where you want to know, let recruiters know you're open to new opportunities. And so you want to click on that. Mine says yes. Total disclaimer, I am not looking for a job. I just like to have that open for demonstration purposes. And so you'll start to see recruiters will start to reach out to you. One thing that also keep in mind with that, for whatever reason, it does switch off without notice sometimes. So just check that every few weeks to keep that up and going. That's that. I got some new posts here, so just refresh my page. When we think about profile, so again, you can click on your picture and it'll take you to your profile. This is going to be your headline. So mine's very simple of what I do. If you are a student, this would be a great time to put in there, marketing junior seeking internship. Because remember that algorithm, that artificial intelligence, when someone searches for, I need a marketing intern, you're going to pop up in their search. So you'll want to make this as descriptive as possible. Include any majors, if you have double majors, any skills you may have, expert at Microsoft, SharePoint, expert, C++, those type of things in that headline. You also want to go through your profile and add any sections that you may not have. So maybe your intro. So this is telling me this is looking good. Before I go any further, I do want to say that I do have the premium membership on LinkedIn. There's a lot of stuff I'm showing that you don't need the premium for. If you do need the premium, I'll be sure to highlight that so you know. I, for probably about, 13 or so years, no, not that long, maybe 10 years, didn't have premium. So you can do a lot of stuff, and LinkedIn is making it a little bit better of the stuff you can do for free. Go through your about. And the great thing about this, it tells you if your section looks good or not. So, which is really nice and handy. You're featured. Here's a great place. So if you attended the webinar on Monday, we talked about links to web content. We talked about links, your about me, your story. This would be a great place to add that link. So someone comes into LinkedIn and they want to know a little bit more about you. They're reading about you, but they want to maybe see your personality kind of pop out. You can definitely add that link right here. Let's see. Oh, another option as you go through all of these. So your background, any skills, you kind of want to have all of these populated. I have 39 skills on my profile. These are things you can add. So, start looking at different skills, things these should normally be on your resume, but a lot of times the skills here are more nouns more so than adjectives, which are also very helpful. So you want to add those skills. I wanted to show you how you edit your public profile and URL. So when you create your profile, LinkedIn will assign you a URL. And usually that URL has a whole lot of numbers and letters at the end because that's just you're next in the queue. I highly recommend you go in there and you change that. You can customize this last part after the /. Try to make it your name. And the reason we do this is then that's what you put on your resume. This is what you may share, put on a business card. And it just looks cleaner, looks more professional. Also, if someone didn't know anything about you and they just wanted to go and search for you, that would be your name. That would be what they could search for. So that's just something to update. If you have a very common name, you may have to get creative and maybe do like a one. You can do some numbers or something of that nature, but you want to keep it as close to your name as possible. All right, close out that. All right. So now let's talk about how do you search. So first we're going to search in network. So this is something where you can search for maybe alumni, You can search for people who went to TU, people who maybe work at a company you would like to work at. So you would just click on My Network. You want to start with your connections, which is totally fine. And then, so Claire is my most recent connection. So search with filters. And you want to go to all filters. And let's not just do so I know my network, right? So I maybe want to search for someone in my second network or my second connection, that kind of thing. But I want to search for people who went to University of Tulsa, who actually have it as their school. So when you make your profile, you add in the school that you went to. So if you have multiple schools, you can add all those. So let's just type in the University of Tulsa. I will say when LinkedIn was set up, so there's two University of Tulsas. There's the University of Tulsa, which is our official name, and then there's University of Tulsa. That's just the way the school was set up. So you may have to search for both. All right, so you can see here's some of my second connections. So recent grad, some are students. So you can see some are professors. So that's awesome. But you know what? I kind of want to do a little bit more. I want to do maybe based on location. So I'm thinking about moving to the San Francisco area. I want to see what alumni are there. So let's click on that, click off, and then it'll search. So you can see here's some of our alumni in the San Francisco area. So then now you have a connection, you have a bond or something in common that you can reach out to them about. And so you can say, I was searching on LinkedIn, be honest. And Jeffrey, I see you're a consultant at McKinsey & Company. I would love to talk to you about your experience. So that's just a way to search on people. Again, various other ways to search. That was using the school name and the location. You could search on who are your second connections based on a certain area. But just a way to search, if you have a company you want to search for, that's also a great way to do that. Now, if we take a look at jobs, this is key. This is huge, especially now, because where are the jobs that they want to do? Where are the internships? So I highly recommend using the search bar and searching by that title or skill, or if you know the company. A lot of times students get caught up in searching via the job title, and job titles are so unique to that particular company. There's no uniform way to search for a job title. So I was actually in a meeting yesterday with a student, and I was asking, what are your top skills that you would say? And he said, oh, communication. So we put in communication as a skill. And when you put it in the search bar, not only is it going to come up in the job title, so you didn't have to know the job title. If it's anywhere in that job description, it's going to come up. And so it opens you up to a lot more opportunities that you might not have thought of based on your skill level. So I don't want you to think, I have to, because I'm an accounting major, I have to look for accounting jobs. Look for the skills that you have. Look for those skills that employers are looking for that would stand out. So here, you have a variety of different jobs. And I also set the location for Tulsa, but you can do any location. And so a lot of them, Quick Trip, my former employer, love them. So things you might not have thought of are showing up, as opposed to just totally keeping you in one set based on a job description. If you want to look a little deeper and take a look at all the filters, I highly recommend looking maybe for some remote opportunities. So we still have the filter of communication in there, but we can do remote. Let's see if anything comes up. So we have some that have come up. So jobs you could do remotely, meaning you could just stay at home and do those. Other filters you can search on could be if you are looking for an internship. I like to look at ones maybe that have been posted most recently, kind of be one of those first applicants over here on the date posted. Easy Apply is a great LinkedIn feature because you can apply right with your LinkedIn profile. And so when you're thinking about, okay, do I want to go to a company's website and fill out all this stuff? If they posted it on LinkedIn, they're more than likely probably looking at my profile. Then you can look at those Easy Apply buttons. So if we do that. Let's see how many we have out there. And you'll see here, so this human resources representative button is an easy apply. And if you click on that, it'll say, here's my contact information, put in your mobile device, and it'll take you through the steps to then apply with your LinkedIn profile. And so that's just an easy way to use the system to apply. Yep, want to discard because I don't want to be contacted. So again, that's a great way to search. You can also set up a job alert right here. So you don't have to remember all your job search criteria. You can set up a job alert. Right now it's off. You can set how often you want anything that comes up in the job description, the job title that has communication in it for Tulsa, Oklahoma, and then how you would like to be notified. Notifications will be in LinkedIn only. Email will send you an email that you have on file that you logged into or set as your preferred email within LinkedIn. Let's see, going through. So we have that. Again, you can change your location if you want to on the job, on the location on where you want to search for jobs or internships. And then you have all these filters to play with. If you know a salary range, if you know a job type that you want to do, you just click around, play with those. If you want to search for a job title, I always tell students to put in this, in your job title, put your major. Don't try to guess a job title based on your major because it'll just be a lot happening. It's just no job titles are the same with all the different companies out there. So one other thing I wanted to show you on your profile, you can build a resume in LinkedIn. And so if we look at, we come here and it's going to be under, trying to remember where it is. It's under, it's one of these, you can build a resume. I found it earlier, now I can't seem to find it. But you can actually build a resume, there it is, under more. You can build a resume using your LinkedIn profile, which is also handy just to have, just taking your experiences that you've typed in and work experience and skills you've typed into LinkedIn and building a resume from that. You can also save your LinkedIn profile to a PDF. I talked a lot about how you're found on searching. The algorithm also works with what you post and how that shows up in your feed. So how you interact will dictate what shows up in your particular feed on LinkedIn. So if you're interacting a lot, I interact quite a lot on LinkedIn, whether it's sharing a post, posting myself, or commenting, LinkedIn will start to realize that and share different things. Things that LinkedIn doesn't like is links that take them outside, take a user outside of LinkedIn. So if you are posting to about a YouTube video, it won't show up in anyone's feed. LinkedIn doesn't like that. They like things to be housed and kept within LinkedIn. So if we go to my post views for today, so I posted about LinkedIn and actually tagged Tawny Crone and Rob Revels. Rob and I have been chatting about LinkedIn on LinkedIn, which is awesome. You can see how many views there are, the likes, and so this is all within LinkedIn. If I keep scrolling, so I post a lot about our events coming up. You can see the views of various things. The more people you tag or organizations, the more others who like those organizations or connected with those people will see. And so that'll drive up the views, definitely, and then drive up that engagement as well. I want to particularly show one that I'm very proud of. Come on, internet, stay with me. So this was a post I shared. I did a presentation at an event, so that was my Halloween costume. It came in handy for that. So I like to share University of Tulsa items, but we had mock interviews in the Business Career Center, so I shared that and tagged some of our employers. But there's one, it's been a while, but I'm still very proud of it because it's the most views I've ever gotten on an event. It's when I presented at the Oklahoma City Thunder and I tagged their HR director who invited me, and I got 10,235 views and 195 reactions. So in LinkedIn, they call them reactions, whether you like, love, etc. on something. So was so excited about this. It helped that it was a Thunder, but again, just how you engage with different things, engage with different posts, and share different posts is going to help you when you're building your brand and connecting on LinkedIn. So I want to get back to the PowerPoint because we're running out of time. So We talked about posting. These are all the slides if my mobile sharing hadn't worked. So we walked through that, but these will be in the presentation. So a few takeaways for you. You can just do this very quickly. Send quick notes on birthdays, new jobs, job anniversaries, just to stay engaged with your network. You can also share interesting articles. Hey, Dean Thompson, I saw this and thought of you. Or hi, students, this is something that's really affecting us now with COVID-19. Thank your connections for advice or experience that benefited you. So go ahead and tag them in a note that you, or in a post you may post on LinkedIn. Create or enhance your LinkedIn profile. Maybe you don't like your particular picture. Maybe you have some more sections you need to fill out on LinkedIn. Go ahead and do that. It really takes about approximately 20 minutes. It's really not that long because the wizard walks you through it. Find me on LinkedIn and let's connect. Include a note. Always good practice. You can always practice on me. I'm not gonna hold it against you if you don't include a note, but it's always great practice. And one thing I would love for all of you to do is just post briefly about what you learned today. Again, we want to hear from students on LinkedIn. We want to see that you're engaging professionally with us. And so what a great way to show that by showing what it is you attended today, what else you're doing in addition to learning. And so at this time, go ahead and type in your questions. And as I go through a few more slides, we have one more event this week in the Business Career Center, Hacking the Internship and Job Search Process. It is tomorrow at 2:10. We've allotted 40 minutes for it. It's going to take a little longer. Again, it'll be recorded, but this is just to walk you through the process of applying for internships and jobs, the whole process from applying to when it's time for you to think, okay, I need to go, and what that looks like. So hope you can join us for that virtual workshop. I always want to highlight the Center for Career Development and Professional Engagement, our folks in the centralized office who handle engineering and natural sciences, health sciences, and arts and sciences. They have some career labs coming up, one today at 2 o'clock. So feel free to tune into all of these. They're every Wednesday throughout the month of April. And at this time, we will go into Q&A. So let me switch my screen here. And we have some, let's see. I don't seem to have a build resume option under more. That's a great question. You should have. And so let me look into that, because that was something that before I showed it, I wanted to make sure that was accessible for everyone. So I will show that. I'm a premium member, but maybe not a premium job member. So the job member that I talked about businesses use to recruit is actually called the business one. And then there's a recruiting one. So if you are a premium member, there's not a premium or a job membership. They're the job one for recruiters is recruiter or business. So premium is just for premium career users, such as what we would be doing. So awesome. Let's see. Are there any additional questions? We don't have any more questions. Okay. Well, we do have time. So before you exit, like I said, I'm going to stay on and go through Handshake too, just because Handshake is a great tool that we have. It works a lot like LinkedIn. A lot of times people think I have to use one or the other. Definitely use both. Just like we had the presentation yesterday on UTulsa Connect, use all three of those. The more tools you have in your toolbox, the better your chances of getting noticed. So just a few reminders, we are open for virtual appointments. You can contact me, Tawny Crone, my program coordinator, my graduate assistant who is graduating in May, yay Sammy, but we're all still here for virtual appointments. And then also more webinars are coming. So if you have any suggestions, we have a few that we'll be bringing you, but if you have some suggestions, definitely let us know. We would love to put it together and broadcast it out. Again, we'll record them. If you would like to be featured on a webinar, that's great. Also, great thing to add to your resume that you participated in a webinar and shared some of your knowledge. That's a great way to do that. We think about the research colloquium being canceled due to our current situation. Let's jump on a webinar. Let's talk about it. Be sure to answer the survey when exiting, and this replay will be available for viewing on our YouTube channel. We do have another question. Let's see. Will joining professional groups and LinkedIn help? Absolutely. I see a lot of what I do in my current job is very much human resources-ish. And so I join a lot of human resource groups on LinkedIn just to get that knowledge, share that knowledge about students. A lot of times human resource professionals forget about students. And so I join professional groups because it helps with the professional development. It also helps you to get noticed. So you can see all the content that they're sharing. You can also share content. So joining professional groups and LinkedIn, I highly recommend, definitely a must. All right, with that, I'm going to switch over again. My little computer's getting a workout to Handshake, just to show you some tips and tricks in Handshake since we have a little bit of time. Again, if you have to jump off, feel free. I'm still recording, so we will keep going. And so, all right, so Handshake. So this is the screen you would come to for Handshake. And so it's just going to be utulsa.joinhandshake.com. Handshake is our online career management tool that we have here at the University of Tulsa. It is used by many schools, many organizations. We've gone through quite a few changes in what we use for online career management, but Handshake is definitely is our new tool that we're using. Couple ways for you to sign in. So as a student of the University of Tulsa, you already have your email address loaded into the system. It's going to be your TU issued email address. So it's going to end at utulsa.edu. Depending on when you became a student, it could be your first name dash last name. It could be the lovely combo of letters and numbers, but that's what it's going to be, the one that's been issued to you. That's probably the biggest hurdle in logging in, is which email address to use. If you have any doubt, and just so you don't lock out of your account, feel free to email me if you're not sure which one to use, and I can look it up and let you know. You can also do single sign-on, which is your University of Tulsa universal ID that you could log on with without the @utulsa.edu. So everything you use to log into self-service, your Bursar account, you could also do that. I like to log in with my email address. I just like doing that. So again, mine is weird because it's the one that got issued to me, even though I've changed the alias. So you would just hit next. I've been in before, so you get this screen. So you choose University of Tulsa. The single sign-on takes you to the same place, but you can go here, put in your password. I will say on our YouTube channel, I did a how to handshake video at the beginning of the school year that also goes through these steps as well. But the screens have changed since then, so thought it'd be nice to go through it here. All right, so this is the screen you should get. If you've been in it before, this screen will come up, and what can we help you find today? If it's your first time logging in, it'll pop up a questionnaire to ask you, what are you searching for? What are some of your preferences? It just helps to populate this particular screen within Handshake. And so you'll see if we start from, I like to start from right to left on this. It's backwards from reading, but I like to start there. So 62, this little number in red is how many notifications you have. I have quite a bit. Notifications are going to come in the form of any invites, any events you've been invited to. So for all of our events, I've sent out invites through Handshake. You can see over here on the left what comprises all of those 50 or 62 alerts. I have, 62 notifications. I have 50 job alerts. I've set up search alerts. So whenever there's a new job added to a particular search, it'll alert me. I have it set up to only do it in notifications and not email. Career fairs, if there's a company that I'm following within Handshake and they've registered for a career fair, or they're coming or they attended, this is the registration one. If there's any new surveys that need to go out, if I've been selected for an interview, it would populate here. And then of course your events, any upcoming appointments, documents. So you can see what makes that up. I never go in and clear mine. Feel free to do that. Actually, I'm gonna mark it all as red now, so that'll clear and I don't look like I don't manage my Handshake. Career Center, also gonna be a great friend for you. In here, we have various resources. One resource I really wanna highlight is our micro internships. this is huge. It's taken off. Again, if you were on the webinar yesterday, I talked a little bit about micro internships and the work that we're doing to partner with Parker Dewey on these. These are short-term paid professional internships. So they're shorter than maybe a summer internship that's maybe 8 to 10 weeks. These are assignments, think gigs. They range in hours of work, but they're so impactful. And these are things you can put on your resume. If you are currently looking for an internship, I highly recommend going out to this site. And again, you can get to it from your profile. You can, your career center, and go into resources and scrolling down to micro internships. And then it gives you a link. You could also just go directly to this link and set up a profile and start applying. They are mostly remote right now. When I looked out there last, they were all remote given the environment we're in. So you can do those from home. And again, a great way just to gain that experience. You can put these on your resume. You list them as micro internships because that way when you have the date on your resume, an employer will know that, okay, this was a micro internship. That's why the date's so short, but goodness, how impactful was this? And you're doing real work. So, and it ranges no matter what your major is. And it's a great way to pursue passions, a great way to pursue other interests that you may not have had in your particular major. So I wanted to highlight that under resources. Also in this world of we're at home, we're working from home, learning from home, you still are interviewing. And so the Big Interview is a great tool to help you practice your virtual interviewing. So in addition to that, I would just like to put in a plug for the Business Career Center. Do the Big Interview, but also set up a mock interview for us because we are all virtual appointments and we can go through and work with you with in the Big Interview, it's questions that are posed to you and then you record yourself. So great help. And a mock interview, we can give you that real-time feedback and also help you in that regard as well. Going global, it provides those country-specific career and employment information. Travel, a little on hold right now, but when we get back up and running, it lists global companies, not only U.S. companies doing business globally, but if you want to be abroad for a full-time or internship position, those would be listed in Going Global. Again, we have subscriptions to these as the University of Tulsa, so there's no cost to you. You just log in, create a profile, and go with your search. For the student side, oops, I skipped messages. Let me go back to messages. Messages is if you have any messages with students. This is also where employers will reach out to you. It's very important to check this area because Fidelity Investments apparently reached out to me. I did not check, but I missed their info session. But this is based on your profile and handshake where employers will reach out to you. If you don't have your notifications set to get email, you may miss these notifications. So definitely look at your messages or have it at least at the very minimum set up to email you as well. And where do you go to set your notifications? You can go over to your profile, notifications, and edit your preferences. And so I always find these hard to see if they're green or not. So when you check on them, they should get darker to let you know that it is set. So just something to keep in mind that messages, again, messages are the way employers reach out to you. And it's going to be more and more, if you're not already seeing it, it's going to be more and more like this. The same is true with LinkedIn, that direct messaging, employers are looking at your profile. So they're going to start reaching out to you that way. So you want to make sure you're not missing those. The students, this is a great way to explore students and connect with them. You can see they don't have to be from your university. So based on your profile, based on what you have listed as your major, you can reach out to other students and message them. Hey, I see you were the online editor at the newspaper. What was that like? So you're an IT intern at Kellogg. Tell me a little bit about that internship. Another great way to network, and a great way to network with fellow students at other schools. So keep that in mind. And of course, over here, you can also search. Q&A is a place to look. If you have questions about what are the interview questions for a Cerner internship, you can come out here and type that in and see. So interview questions, now it may not be out here, but at least you can search. And this is where, I cannot type today, students, no results found. But these are also just tips and tricks that students fill out. So here's one: what's the best way to convey my programming skills over the phone or video interview? So employers can also go out here. It's usually students that are asking or that are answering these questions, asking and answering them. So a great way to connect and contribute too. Don't forget, it's a two-way street with networking, so you can contribute as well. You can go to the events tab and focus on some upcoming events. And from here, you can just so for today, you could view the event and then go ahead and RSVP right there. And so you can also see who else is coming. If for some reason you didn't get my email about how to log in, you could always just click right here and there's the link, especially with the virtual area that we're in. And lastly, the jobs. So this is probably the section you'll use the most. Just like LinkedIn, you're going to want to search for job titles, employers, keywords. If you're skilled in Microsoft Excel, put that in. If it is anywhere remotely in this posting, the job title, the job description that you should have it will come up. You can also use the filters. And so I'm showing you all this just so as we go through this uncharted territory, and a lot of times you think, I want to work for an accounting firm, or I don't want to work for an accounting firm. And I use accounting because that was my major. I don't want to work for an accounting firm. Keep in mind that accounting firms are not always just looking for accounting majors. So don't think you can't work somewhere because you don't have the major. Think about the skill, think about the industry, think about the things you bring to the table. And that's what you want to search on, because these job descriptions, employers, I will say, are getting better at writing job descriptions and asking a little bit more broader terms as opposed to just a particular major. So you can search on Microsoft Excel. If you're wanting an internship, you can populate, that has my home address in there. You can populate the city or state that you want to. It should fill from your profile. I have on my Google autocomplete, so it's not going to do that. And then if you want paid only, so you know, if you want to specify an industry, if you know exactly where you want to work, again, keep it open. See what's out there. Right now, there's 130 jobs found. Start with that. Let's see them. Also, side note, Handshake uses jobs and internship interchangeably. So you'll really have to look at if it truly is a job based on the dates or what it says here, like full-time internship, to know if it's a job or an internship. On the search, down at the bottom, it says jobs, and we were searching on internships. So you have quite a few that have come up. And again, these are all different locations, so you can filter even more in your location. If it says apply externally, it will take you to an external site to apply. If it says apply within Handshake, you would apply with your, if it says quick apply, you would apply with your Handshake profile, meaning that you've had to have uploaded your documents back under your profile screen. You would have had to upload a resume, at the very minimum, a resume to apply. Once you apply, you can go to applications and see if they are still pending. If you've applied for anything you haven't heard back, so here status is pending. If you're primary, that means you have been selected for an interview. And so if they're interviewing on campus, you can sign up for a spot. I will say a lot of times they never really move off of pending. And so pending is you have submitted it. Reviewed means someone has looked at it. Primary means you're eligible to do an interview, and decline means you were not selected. So if anything still says pending or reviewed, you're totally fine to follow up with that employer, especially if it's been a while. And the last thing I want to show you is the employer tab. So you may have in mind that you want to work for a certain employer, but you're just not sure how to get in contact with them. And so the first thing you can come over here and do is just just search for the employer. So I love Goldman Sachs. Actually had a conversation with them recently. So I follow them. So I want to look at Goldman Sachs and just see, is anything posted? Is anything happening with them? So get a little bit more information. There's information that people have reviewed Goldman Sachs and Handshake. There's information about their interviews. So what was the process like? So get a little bit of intel on them. And then they have a job posted. This means they have a job posted on our Handshake. So employers connect with the University of Tulsa through Handshake and post jobs there. So this is a great job that's posted here. So you could click on that and get more information. But yeah, maybe you don't want to be in the engineering division in Warsaw. So what do you do? Well, let's look at the overview. Let's scroll down. They got some great videos, but you want to contact someone. Right here is where you can find an email address to just reach out directly. Again, you may think that's weird, but it's not. Be forceful, be aggressive, and just say, I saw you had a posting at the University of Tulsa. I was curious about any additional postings that may be coming. They put their email address out there, so they want to hear from you. You can also go to their website. I personally enjoy just contacting someone directly. Usually this will be populated for all the employers. If you find that it is not, send me an email. It's populated on the screens that I can see on the admin side because they have to put in an email address to be connected with us. So I'll be more than happy to share that with you. You can also set up, let me go back the screen. You can also set up searches. Oh, don't film me now, internet. Here we go. Okay. Let's just go back to jobs, employers. Again, you can follow employers. So I'm following 12 of them. You can search by size, industry, any sort of label, location. You can set that up, follow those employers. So anything they do with the University of Tulsa, if they post, you will be notified of that. So that's all I have to share with you about Handshake. I just want to squeeze that in there because it does work in tandem with LinkedIn and giving you the tools you need to find internships and jobs. So if you have any additional questions, feel free to ask them now. Let's see, we still have a few people on, which is fantastic. If questions come to you or you need help navigating any of these systems, feel free to reach out to me. I can set up a call. We can work through a Zoom call, any of those things to help you maximize your potential in your search. So hopefully you found this very helpful. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out. Don't forget to take the survey that should pop up once you exit the webinar. So thank you again for joining us today, and I hope to see you tomorrow on Thursday at our Hacking the Job and Internship process. So thank you again and have a great day.